name is Jason. I'm married and I have a 5.5-month-old. I wanted to start because this idea of passive income and wanting to generate enough passive income so you don't have to work your day job anymore. As a long-term investment, over 25, 30 years, I feel like real estate properties are the most stable type of investment that you can have. So I didn't really know much about real estate investing before, other than it was one of those aspirational things that I always thought that I would do. But in terms of the logistics of going through with a purchase, how do you evaluate a property as a good investment versus a bad investment or neutral or great, I didn't really know how to assess that. I don't know a lot of realtors out there that really specializes in this type of investment. It takes a lot of experience and time to actually develop that kind of insight into what is a good or great investment. I think having someone like Simon there who's actually walking you through all of those things and pointing out the issues actually gives me a lot of comfort and trust that this is the realtor I want to work with, because they've done this many times before and they can kind of navigate you through any of those potential pitfalls. I went with Elevate Realty to do the leasing out to tenants as well. And I actually find that process very stressful. I've done it before myself. When I went through Elevate, it was really just all taken care of. One thing they did was they asked the tenants if they wanted the parking spots, and none of them wanted it. So they actually went above and beyond to just rent out the parking spot to a local business. You pay your commission like you would any other realtor, but on top of that, you get all the leasing stuff for free, right? So that's a really good deal. I was debating whether to do property management myself. Again, I've had that experience before and I know how taxing it can be with tenants. I didn't want to deal with that stuff. And so far, we've had number of issues actually in the property, and I would find out about it afterwards and it's already fixed. And they covered all these preventative stuff as well as inspections twice a year just to make sure that everything is okay in the house. I like doing stuff through text and email. I also like stuff to be very real time as well, even though I use those kind of channels. They're always very responsive via email or messaging. So for me, just once the stuff comes up, I find that to be really, really good. I actually think it's great that Simon has all these contacts, because stuff comes up, whether it's electrical stuff or even stuff that I use for my primary residence. And I could just always go to Simon, hey, do you know a good person for this service or that service? And I can always go to him for that kind of stuff, and he'll always refer me a bunch of options. Yeah, so the wackiest thing I've seen while we were shopping for real estate was we went into this one house that had a basement that was kind of unfinished, and it just looked like a dungeon down there. And there was no real floors. It was kind of there's dirt and stuff like that. But the property was for really cheap, so theoretically you could just redo the basement. But Simon kind of advised me against it. He actually said, because you're doing this for the first time, he wanted to navigate me away from stuff that's more higher risk and that required a lot more work to get it ready, because that kind of experience, for the first-time investor is probably going to be traumatizing. The only advice I'd give to my pre-investing self is I should have done this earlier than later. I feel like if I had done it earlier, I would have had more time to, realize some of the appreciation in the market as well as the passive income side of things. I actually think that it's reinforced my view, and the fact that I can see the numbers making sense, and making more sense than what I thought it could. that actually makes me even more bullish on real estate investment.